Said, are you happy? Hi-yo!
Hello and
Hooey!
welcome to the old podcast. Yeah, but are you happy? Where we talk about the intersection of creativity and mental health. I'm Katie Stone, a copywriter and comedian living in Los Angeles. Every day I wake up, I pop a antidepressant, I pop a mood stabilizer, and then if I have to do some work, I pop a little bit of Adderall, which I'm in ongoing conversations with my doctor about because does it make me feel good? Co-host, who are you?
I wanted you to say, like, you roll out of bed, pop those pills, and then you just come up with the next just do it. You just come up with the next jingle of all time. I'm Lane Ingram. I am a therapist in Austin, Texas, and a licensed professional counselor in private practice, to be exact. And I'm also a comedy performer, one of them nutty, quirky, twisted improv and sketch comedy people who has done absolutely zero performing in the last year because of COVID. Anyway, I also have my own mental health struggles and am on stuff, antidepressants. And we're going to talk with an amazing guest today. The topic, should we say the topic and then the guest, or?
Sure,
But
why
yeah,
not?
we're going to be
Well,
talking about male body image issues among men, and I happen to be one of those. And joining us today is absolute Austin. I'm going to try not to mess up his name the way I did with last week's guest, which I still feel really embarrassed about. No, join us now for the comedy stylings of the Austin comedy legend, improviser, and the best improv coach in Austin for 35 years running, Mr. Nathan Sowell.
Hello, thank you for having me. Big
Yeah.
fan, longtime fan, first time caller.
our
Yay.
podcast listeners don't know that Nathan Camp, he's not middle-aged yet. So if you heard he's been an improv coach for 35 years and you thought that was true, I just want to let you know he is an unwrinkled little baby.
Yeah, no, it's more like how many years. I mean, I know you're a very humble person, Nathan, but you were voted among students, faculty, the greater ColdTowne Theater comedy community at large. You were named best improv coach, improv instructor. May I ask how many times? Are you comfortable saying that?
I'm not keeping count or anything, but coach for about 5 years now. Most
Yeah.
supportive for the last like 4 years. Uh, Best teacher once or twice. Never got director though. One day.
One exactly. And yeah, you're someone, you've done comedy in Chicago. I think we just missed each other. You were up there for several years and then moved to Austin, I think right as Chloe and I were moving up to Chicago, something like that. And we're very grateful to have you on today.
Yeah.
And
Just as further introduction, we talk about this sometimes, but like, I don't know, some weeks we have people who we think might be genuine experts on, but a lot of the time what we're looking for is just like a vulnerable perspective from one of our friends to talk about the topic. So, Nathan, I'm just gonna let people know up front you're not an expert on human
Oh yeah,
bodies. I figured
absolutely
that
not.
might take some pressure off. We just had you on basically because I think we had a digital conversation about it once that I found uh interesting and helpful for me. I think a lot what inspired us wanting to talk about boy bodies is kind of a dearth of or a lack of like conversation about that in the overall public. We all as women get like a ton of body positivity content on our Instagrams. I don't know if men get as much targeted at them.
I think TikTok is doing a pretty good job of. There's like a whole body positivity, men body positivity TikTok thing going on.
Oh
If
my
you
gosh.
really,
There's
I didn't know
there's
that.
a subgenre for everything on TikTok, but yes, there is.
Wait,
There's
I want.
compilations.
Should we hold on? I want to talk about male body positivity TikTok because I do generally want to talk about accounts for that. But should we do our mental health check-in
Oh yeah.
first? Everybody, tell us how you're doing, Elaine. What's going on with you?
What's going on with me? So, Chloe and I we did our 4-day weekend this past weekend, and we went out to Lake Cypress Springs, which is out in East Texas. It's about a 5-hour drive from Austin. And we had a great time. It was fun. It was a nice little getaway. We saw an old friend of mine and his wife. We've known her for about maybe 6 years. And Joey, I've known since I was about 13 or 14 years old. So he's like one of my oldest friends. And so the four of us just kind of hung out at this lake house. They've had both their vaccines. So we made out with them, all sorts of crazy, weird sex stuff. Well, that's on my other podcast. I'll go into more detail, the sex podcast I do. Anyway, it was fun. It was good for the old mental health. It was just a lot of doing nothing, which I think I needed. And I'm already kind of looking forward to the next time I get to do that. It had been a while since I kind of, there's something about when you get away. That's what's been so hard about COVID is a staycation. You still know you're home and other people might still know that you're home, but being out of town is like the ultimate get out of jail free. Like, hey, can you help me move my couch today? So-and-so fell through. Man, I would love to help you move your couch on my Sunday, but I'm so sorry. I'm 5 hours away at Lake Cypress Springs.
Did somebody ask you to wait? Somebody asked you to have plans during COVID and you were able to say no?
Someone asked me to help them move their couch when I was 17 years old, and it scarred me for life because I hate helping people and I hate moving couches. No, I don't know where this came from, this irrational fear of being asked to do something on staycation. No, it was a good time though. It was fun. And off air, I was telling people that the gas stations outside of Austin, basically the whole time we were outside of Austin, it was a little bit of a white knuckle ride. Not a lot of mask wearing out and about. I was surprised at the amount of people who were wearing masks when we got way out into the rural East Texas area. I would say I would ballpark it at around a third of people wearing masks out there. Anyway, the bar is low because anyway, we're nuts. How are you doing, Katie?
Things are okay over here. Still not moving around a ton because of my wee little sprained ankle, but it did get better enough that Sanjay and I went out and went shopping and to the grocery store and got a beer on Saturday, which was it felt so human. Today, I don't know. I think it's raining here and it's cold, and I think I have more pandemic malaise than usual. I finally planned a social event with my coworkers. So in 2 weeks, you'll hear about that. I would love to just see a human being during the day, walk around outdoors. Haven't done that in a while. Gosh, imagine. I don't have a long update this week because life is so boring, but I'm not deeply depressed yet. So there's not even that level of interest to share.
No, malaise. You said it. Yeah, malaise. Yeah, that kind of. It's funny now that you're in. I had a client today from California who lives in Austin, and Austin has been overcast for 2 days, and they were saying they have the same malaise because when you come from California, I think you get used to the sun, and they were telling me that if they go without sunshine for more than about 24 hours, they feel it. They feel it in their mood and kind of their whole body. So you're Californian now, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I thought you were going to say they feel it in their mood and in their whole.
Nice. That'll also be on my fictional non-existent sex podcast.
Nathan, how are you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing okay. It was a bit of a rough day today.
Mhm.
You know, I had a lot of just I do customer service for work, and I had a lot of like just negative energy that is coming into my house.
Yeah.
So that's a little hard to
Oh
get
yeah.
away from sometimes. And then I went to Starbucks after work, and I got a coffee, and I got Erin a coffee, and I spilled the coffee, her coffee, all over the like car when I got out of it, and
Oh,
that really I like cried in the shower for a little bit
oh no.
after that because it was just like.
On the
Uh,
exterior of the car?
Luckily, it was on the exterior, not on the
Okay.
interior. Yes,
Gotcha.
but
Still a bummer though. Ugh.
such a bummer because it was like a 30-minute wait to get it,
Oh,
and yeah,
and it's
it was,
such a sweet gesture.
yeah,
Spilling and losing things. Those stories fucking gut me for no reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
and then to show up with just mine too and be like, I'm sorry, I did bad. But
How
oh.
I can only imagine, yeah, like you bring what you mentioned about like bringing negative energy into your house working in customer service right now. Has that been sort of a problem throughout? Is there anything do you have like a special space where you take calls or
I do, yes, I'm in my office right now, so
nice?
that is very good to have. Like, at least I'm not in like bed, uh, you know, bringing that into the bedroom for sure. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's fine, and you just let it roll off of you, and then some days it's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm a very social person, and so when that happened, when I worked with people in a physical space, I could make fun of the
Yep.
people, and like we could joke around and
Yeah.
let that steam off, and I don't have that as much anymore, which is a bummer.
Damn.
But also, when it comes to my mental health space, I am going to start a drug for the first time in my life
Hmm.
for my mental health, and I got it
Oh,
today. I have,
exciting. What a
yeah,
momentous
pretty
day. What
exciting.
can we no pressure, can we
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
what it
for
is or
sure.
what is
Yeah, I've been going to therapy for like a year now, since
wonderful.
yeah, yep, for the first like sustained time in my life, and my therapist was like, I think you should speak with a psychiatrist as well, and I had my first evaluation the other day, like last night, yeah, and I'm gonna start out with a little bit of Lexapro.
Hey, welcome to
Uh,
the club,
yeah,
baby.
yeah, we're gonna
Ow.
see.
That was me high-fiving my own
Woo.
camera. Yeah. No, that's what I've been on.
Nice.
And I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Good for you. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's
Mhm.
great. That's great. No, I just in case anyone hasn't listened to all 500 episodes of our show, I started Lexapro about 2 years ago. I was resistant for a long time to trying medication, and finally I was just like, I kind of want to just I want to try it, if just to see what it's like. I've recommended so many clients over the years, like it's worth trying, when they've exhausted a lot of their other options. And I thought, yeah, I just want to see what it could do for me. So I talked with a psychiatrist. They recommended Lexapro. They eventually added Wellbutrin in addition to that, and that's been going really well, I think. So good for you, man. So yeah, maybe we can talk a little bit more about your therapy journey over the past year as we get more into the topic. And I guess now is a good time to mention, feel free if there's anything you don't want to share about whatever reason, feel free to let us know and we can scoot right along or edit things out of this live Twitch broadcast for when it goes up as the audio portion, the podcast. But yeah, and I guess, yeah, trigger warning, we're going to be talking about serious stuff as we do on this show. But hey, maybe we'll laugh along the way because sharing can be fun. Yay. Katie, where do you think we should start?
Do you want me to read some Oh wait, well, okay, I do want to get into social media stuff. But you want me to read off some general information I found in the past hour when I was reading about this?
Please, yes, because I was trying to do research on this topic, and what I found is that there's not a ton of
Mhm.
information about male body dysmorphia and male body image stuff. But so whatever information you were able to find, I think would be very much appreciated.
Well, so yeah, it kind of leaps around, but some stuff that is definitely interesting. First of all, about one third of eating disorders occur in men. The most common eating disorder for men is binge eating disorder, but men are overall less likely to seek out treatment because they associate eating disorders and stuff like that with femininity and being like too obsessed with your body generally. The article I read was like, men think that you're gonna call them gay if they have an eating disorder. And I was like, what year is this from? But it's probably true. I mean, we our friends are maybe a little different from the general public. Uh yeah, less likely to seek treatment. 25% of normal weight males perceive themselves to be underweight. And 90% of teenage boys wanted to bulk up. So that's a whole there it seems like there's a lot of stuff that women don't necessarily face as much, that being one of them.
Yeah.
Um Muscle dysphoria is a subtype of body dysmorphia that affects primarily men who lift weights. They obsess about being inadequately muscular despite often being more muscular than the general public. Male plastic surgery has risen 325% since 1997.
Wow.
And that's in keeping with multiple things that are occurring. One, the rise of social media has made men more comparative with their bodies, obvi. I'm sure we all noticed that. Also, one of the articles I read straight up blamed the Marvel franchise. It was kind of funny, but made sense.
Dude, I think I saw that same article. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is not a ton. It's funny. There some of the articles that pop up, I checked the date. Some of these like scientific journal articles were like they were published in like psychiatry journals 20 years ago. Like
Yeah.
there's not a lot, unfortunately, a lot of recent data. So I think I found that same article that talked about the unrealistic body images we see in superhero movies. But
Can
yeah,
I read this one quote from it?
please.
Um, so this guy, Bobby H. Hanton, who's Chris Hemsworth's stunt double and has to look like him, said that leading up to Thor, he had to eat 36 times a day, maintaining a high protein diet and work out twice a day to match Chris's size. He admitted it made him unsociable because given his dietary restrictions and exercise, going out with family and friends became challenging altogether. Oh yeah, and sorry, the one stat I didn't read in here is men worry about their height clearly much more often than women do,
Yeah.
as well as hair loss.
Hair loss. Yeah.
And
Hair
then
Mm.
acne
loss.
impacts men, and we don't talk about that as much. There's not a male Neutrogena spokesperson. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah.
Those are all my infos to introduce us.
No, that's perfect. That's all. Yep. You took the words out of my mouth. Yeah, that I will say I totally was that was in my blind spot. The whole men wanting to bulk up. That yeah, that's a very common form of male body dysmorphia. The young males seeing themselves as puny or weak and the desire to bulk up and get big. And this one article calls it big orexia. Uh, yeah, this one thing that I found. But yeah, and then yeah, you're exactly right. The hair growth industry is apparently a multi-billion-dollar industry. Men worrying about hair loss and things like that. Anyway,
I never
yeah,
understood the hair thing for the
yeah.
longest time, but that's also because I've had like luscious locks for so long. And
Ugh.
then I think during the pandemic, my hair started graying and thinning on top a little bit. And now it's something that I get really touchy about, and it sucks. I hate that that's something that I care about, you know?
Yeah.
Because I just want to like if I go start going bald, I'm just gonna shave my head and like look scary and mean and you know.
That's
But
what I've always thought. I can remember as a teenager knowing I was already short and chubby. I immediately thought, Jesus Christ, I hope I don't go bald.
Mm.
I was like, I can handle 2 out of 3, I think, but 3 out of 3, and I'm just like, please don't turn into George Costanza. I mean, I'm already kind of there. Even at 17, I was already kind of there, but yeah, I didn't want to. Anyway, yeah, no, yeah, I have thick hair and I think I'm okay. But yeah, I think I would shave as well. Unless, see, if I could get slim, then I could try and go for a Stanley Tucci vibe. I feel like he's one of the few dudes who can really just rock the I'm not shaving my head. This is just what my hair did on its own, but he's still like a handsome, distinguished man. I want to sleep with Stanley Tucci. But what are your thoughts, Nathan, if you don't mind? Tell me about you and body stuff. Where should we
oh,
start? What feels good for you?
I mean, you brought up your childhood, so
Yeah,
let's go there.
sure.
Uh, I don't know. My body image has been like growing up. I think middle school. You as a bigger kid, as a chubby kid, if you will, a plump kid. Uh, you do one of two things, and you either like conform to everybody's like pressure of you're fat, you need to change, and so you do everything that you can to change, or you like learn how to cope with it in some way. And I think getting into comedy and taking over the conversation and be not letting yourself be the butt of a joke, but then being the person who will make the joke at his own expense and then
Yeah, yeah,
pivot is definitely something that I started with, and then eventually you learn to like just be like, no, this is me, this is who I am. If you have a problem with it, that's your problem. That's not
yeah.
my problem, right? But I think as I've gone on in age, the more I've gotten to just accept who I am and like that I am a bigger man, and that is like even if I lose weight, I'm still going to have the frame of a bigger man because I'm just a Norse. I'm a Norse god, much like Thor. Um, but I don't know. I've learned to accept myself. I think I still am work in the process of learning to accept other people's opinions of me sometimes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, like if I'm ever by middle schoolers, still I like revert into like, what? Why are they laughing over there? Are they laughing at me?
Right.
Is my butt out? I also don't think how
Yes.
growing up when Fight Club was like popular was helpful as a big kid,
I
because
never thought of that.
oh yeah.
I was 19 or 18 or something when that came out. So what was it like for you? Or
I
what?
mean, I got called B tits all the
Oh
time.
no.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, that
Uh,
would suck.
People like flick your boob was like a big thing. Just walking down the
Shit.
hallway and middle schoolers, boom. And that doesn't feel good. I got to the point where like I would like grab their arm and twist it and like pull them in and be like, "Don't touch me," and that sucks. It's like I was
Damn.
forced to go into this like toxic masculine, you know. "Urgh." You're still muted right
Yeah.
now, Katie.
Sorry, I peed with the door open so I could hear you guys, so I muted myself. Um, that is the least you thing I've ever heard you say. The fact that you physically accosted someone is I know I shouldn't think it's fun. It is a little funny to me. But that was something I read about a lot, was like how it's not considered, like with women, if you call a woman fat or whatever, you're immediately considered rude. but with a, or like, everybody will attack you, but with men that's not the case. Men feel like they can insult each other's bodies as much as they want. So I can imagine, yeah, like that's just something. And even I don't know, like I'm curious. I remember one time uh we were on stage at a Nice Astronaut show, and I realized I said something that made it sound like I think it was with Drew, but like it sounded like I was like making the scene about him being like a bigger guy. And I remember like overcorrecting in my head. I was like, we get, but I don't know. I feel like, has that ever become the game in comedy? Like, do you see that happening? Does it happen like currently in your improv community?
I mean, I definitely have seen it occur. I feel like it is more often than not, you're going to see the person of size make the joke rather than somebody else make
Yeah.
the joke at their expense, because I think we're fairly taught well not to punch down. Um, there's definitely been times where I've been made to be really uncomfortable though with the way that my body has been moved or been used by other players. Like one time I got bent over on somebody's like knee,
Uh-huh.
and my butt was just like out to the audience, and like all I can think of whenever that is happening is I don't want to be to do a Chris Farley right now. Like I don't want to pull a Chris Farley. It's going to get a big laugh, and it's not because of me, it's because of something I don't have control over.
Yeah.
And when I came up in Chicago, that happened a lot, and I had
Really?
oh man, I had one of the worst experiences I've ever had on stage at the Cornservatory.
Oh, I know that place.
I'll,
Oh, dude, I could go on and on about that place. Okay, yeah.
I'll put them on blast. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Cornservatory.
fuck you. Yeah, yeah, they suck.
Um,
That
but
place sucked. Okay,
yeah,
yeah. What was your experience?
they hired me to be Cupid in like a sketch show that they did for Valentine's Day, and that I didn't get paid for, right? But they made a crap ton of money off of doing like an open bar, and it's like a Valentine's date night. Uh,
Shit.
but I'm like, yeah, sure. This is a theater is asking me to do something in
Yeah.
Chicago. This is an opportunity. So I get there, and they're like, great, you're gonna wear a diaper. And I was like, oh, was what? And they're like, you're just going to wear a diaper and a wig and angel wings, and that's it. And I quickly realized, oh, so you asked me to do this because I'm a large man, and it will be funny to see a fat baby on stage, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a bunch of other sketches that I did, but that was it. That was the main thing. And I remember going on stage in nothing but a diaper and wings, and like I'm someone who like wears t-shirts at the pool still, like and the laugh that I got, it was a full house. It was such a big laugh, and it was the first time that I fucking hated laughter from a full audience. Like it
Shit.
really affected me, because it was just like, this is not, I'm not doing anything right now.
Yeah.
Um, but that,
Fuck, dude.
yeah, it was heavy. But then we did a Laurent the second half of the show, and I remember like, I was like, I'm gonna make you all laugh so hard right now with my wit, and I did. But I remember
Yeah.
walking home in the snow crying that night. Not That was not a fun one.
Oh, fucking shit, dude. That sucks. Yeah, it reminds me so much of the things I think so many uh hefty comedy people go through, like John Belushi doing the Olympics sketch for, instead of the Wheaties commercial, it was like the little chocolate donuts, and he's like smoking a cigarette, pole vaulting with like his belly
Hmm.
bouncing around in his Olympic outfit, or Chris Farley doing the Chippendales sketch. And I do think, okay, the Chippendales sketch was about 30 years ago. And I'm so sorry to hear that this incident happened to you like within the last, what, 10 years?
Probably 15.
15 years.
No, not 50. I'm not that old. I guess. Yeah, I guess 10 years is more right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I feel like that kind of stuff now, I don't know, it doesn't fly, or am I naive?
I don't think so. I feel like
Yeah.
if that was going to happen, it would be the from the voice of the person that is
Yeah.
choosing to do that,
Yeah, yeah. Fuck. And yeah, to just be exploited basically for a cheap, very cheap laugh. Fuck. Yeah, that's awful, man. I'm sorry to hear that you went through that.
That's okay. It's one of those things where in the moment you're not able to really process it, and then when you tell that story like years down the line, you're like, "Damn, that's messed up."
That's fucked up. If you don't mind
Yeah.
me asking, yeah, what was it like telling that just now? What did that stir up for you?
Oh, I got real sad.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like holding it together. Um, yeah, no, it's a bummer because you do look up to. I mean, you're a bigger guy.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, in like middle school and high school, you look up to Chris Farley and John Candy
Yeah,
and how they owned it. It felt like they were owning it. Like Chris Farley, it did not seem to me like he was ever taken advantage of in that
yeah,
way. It was something that he like used as a superpower.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, no, no, you're exactly right. That distinction of who's in control, like that, you're right. Those were situations where they were in a position where they maybe could have taken some, they did have ownership and agency, whereas it was very much the theater in that power position, and you kind of just being a pawn, sadly, being kind of taken advantage of, right?
yeah.
Shit.
Ooh.
Just a horrible thing, yeah. And
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, what do you, how would you put into words the impact of something like that on you? I guess, how has that impacted you in the years since, I guess?
Uh, well, I definitely think in shows that I'm like in control of, like where I'm the director of a show or I have some sort of creative control over, I'm not going to put any of my cast in a position like that. Um, I also think it has made me very aware of just what I am representing of myself on stage, and I don't know. I always want to be in charge of that laughter. I don't want to be. I want that control, right? Like it,
Yeah.
it just makes you feel like a little kid again when you don't have that control. I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, Nathan, thank you so much for, yeah, being
Yeah.
vulnerable and talking about this. Cause yeah, I very much relate, especially like you were describing growing up. I feel like my way of trying to avoid the spotlight, like, cause it was always in the back of my mind in almost every social situation growing up, was like, is my weight going to be brought up? Is the fact that I'm fat? Oh, like, oh, everyone's going to play basketball. So what am I going to do here? Because
Mm.
I suck and I might have to take my shirt off if it's shirts
Shirts and
versus skins.
skins.
So my anxiety is through the roof and I'm 11, it's like,
Yeah.
and so my way of avoiding that kind of negative attention was to be the funny guy. I tried to be the comic relief of the group, and it's weird, like, that in a way that kind of worked. Like, I can remember bullies, it would be like hey, everybody shut the fuck up and just everyone stay the fuck away. Oh, hey Lane, what's up? No, not you. It's, yeah, you're all right. Anyway, fuck all y'all. And it'd be like, how did I get and it's like, oh, because I'm the non-threatening, kind of meek, ineffectual, fat funny guy.
I
uh
I went a little bit on the opposite side when in that I would like be really mean to the bullies in like a funny way and get people laughing at them, and
oh, that's
then
great.
I think maybe turn into a little bit of a bully, like looking back on it. But
That's amazing, Nathan. Seeing you lean back in your chair, like, it was maybe a little bit of a bully, kind of a Larry David, maybe a little bit of a. No, that's amazing. You used humor to, yeah, to speak truth to power, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna raise a semantic question just before we keep this conversation going, because I feel like there's a movement within female body positive conversations to destigmatize the use of the word fat and just to use the worst use the word fat for like plus size people. I feel like we've all used euphemisms on this call, and I don't know, I do think it is like a generational and in personal thing for people. I feel like a person who doesn't want to be called fat is going to be more offended by that word than a person who wants to be called fat is by me saying something like plus size. Do you guys have an opinion on that? Do you want what
Mm.
do men talk about that? Is this a
No, I
thing
don't
for
think so.
men? I don't know. I don't know what men say.
That's a great question. I know that I'm I know the technical term would be obese.
Yeah.
Overweight is, yeah, I guess overweight, there's yeah, I don't think plus size is anything
Yeah, men
that
don't
I've
really
heard
talk
that
about plus.
I've never heard a man say about themselves or another man plus size.
Is there a plus size section or is it just like
Big and tall.
big and
Big
tall?
and tall. If only there was big and short. See what I mean? The short guys, yeah, we
Well,
suck.
it's big is implied for big and short. It's just
Okay.
there are tall people and there are big people, and
Okay.
in this section you could be big and short, you could be
Okay.
tall and skinny, or you could be big and tall. This is a section for all.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Inclusivity. That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna
And you,
read a couple quick things from the chat. Somebody
Yes,
said
please.
I use heavy set for everyone. We have a new person in the chat. Lunes is the username. I don't if we know each other, please just tell me who you are so I can know. I won't necessarily read it out loud. But they also told a brief story. I once told a guy that I wanted to stay fat to never be attractive to guys like him, and then I ate an entire pizza in front of him. I found that story very powerful. And I
That's
appreciated it
great.
very much.
hell
More
yeah.
power to you. uh sorry, two interruptions. I apologize
No,
because
no, no.
you were having a good flow.
No, we're
Uh,
Back on that.
it's
when
all
it
good.
comes to terms, I don't know, as a like younger person, I did not want to be called fat. I felt like it was very like a punch in the gut. I would always say like I'm husky,
Hmm.
like I'm just a husky boy. I'm a big boy. Um, Now, yeah, I have no problem saying, no, I'm fat.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah,
fat guy.
yeah.
Like there's no shame behind that anymore.
I one of the things that I think has helped me so much is is Cold Town. I know this is going to sound really corny, I guess, but being at Cold Town, I felt like it's a very safe space where I feel I don't think I've ever felt, othered, uh, and not for weight or anything, I guess, but I've never really felt othered about my weight at Cold Town or really any of the theaters here in Austin. And I guess, I mean, I'd like to think that's a testament to the inclusivity of a place like Austin and the comedy scene here. But yeah, I feel like I am more comfortable about my physical appearance than I ever have been, really. And I was saying last time, Nathan, on our last episode, that but that's not necessarily a great thing when my health is somewhat at stake and I know I need to do something. So it's that weird balance of like loving myself who I am now, but also knowing that for my health I have to do something.
Yeah.
So we're eating better, Chloe and I both, and I'm exercising more, but I need to step it up. And I enjoy exercising. It's just COVID. I don't like to. I mean, I'm not going to go to the gym in COVID. I went to the gym before COVID, and anyway, COVID, man, has COVID been difficult for you?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, in some ways it has helped me tremendously. Like I am I haven't smoked a cigarette in a year.
Mhm.
So,
Dude,
yeah.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
Whoa.
much. Drinking wise, like I have not I had like a bunch of wine on election night because it was election night and I was,
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
I was
stressed.
having a
beautiful.
stress, but like not drinking very much, if at all. And then I haven't smoked any like marijuana in like a year as well. And so like, I don't know, a pandemic and threat of death has definitely helped with some healthy life choices. Also, cut that fried food out, not eating that every day. Um,
Oh yeah, you posted
exercise.
a picture
Oh,
of a
go
taco salad Aaron made like yesterday, and I was aroused. Was it
Yeah.
vegetarian or it was
Uh,
regular?
there was some meat in that one.
That's
There
fine.
was.
I don't care, but it just looked beautiful. I'm sorry I interrupted to talk about an Instagram post picture you
Oh no.
posted.
That's
I
it's a taco salad. We have to.
It
That's
looked
interesting.
really
Yeah.
good. Congratulations to Aaron.
No, yeah.
oh my god.
Congratulations to you
A beautiful food photo is always worthy of discussion.
both.
I am so freaking lucky to have my partner Aaron in my life.
Aaron,
She's
yeah.
she's a
Happy
vegetarian.
anniversary.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you
today.
very much. It was like it was the 6th last
Cute.
couple of
Was
days.
just last week. Okay, yeah.
It's right
But no,
before
yeah,
Christmas.
tell us about that. You and Aaron, if you want to, if you don't
Yeah.
mind. Yeah.
Well, like she's a vegetarian, so like I went from being like I'm eating fast food almost every day of my life to eating meat substitutes a lot and salads for the first time really in my life and like
Yeah.
vegetables that taste good. I didn't know that was like a thing. I had
Yeah.
just real bad vegetables growing up that made me think I don't need to touch vegetables for the
I
rest of
relate.
my life. And
Right.
and now it's like, oh damn, Aaron has showed me the light in that
Beautiful.
sense. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude, I'm right there with you. When Chloe found me, she got the crust out of my eyes. She ran a comb through my hair, hosed me down out in the backyard and started feeding me vegetables. And yeah, my idea of healthy eating was like I'll have you know, Cheerios in the morning. That's good. That's
Lowers
healthy.
cholesterol.
Yeah,
So
and then like the grilled chicken fajitas, it's grilled chicken, so that's good, and rice and beans, what's wrong with that? And it's like, oh yeah, but you have to have green things is the problem. And I had never really, so yeah, Chloe is helped me open my eyes to the idea that, oh, Brussels sprouts, who would have thought those can actually be good.
They restaurants versus moms, real difference in
oh
Brussels
yeah.
sprout preparation.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
Totally.
I think one thing I'm really lucky for too is that Aaron like showed me how showed me how to like just like Google recipes better and basically take my own agency and find like things that I like and just try and see if I enjoy making these things. I make a mean cauliflower fried rice now.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Uh,
yeah.
so yum, and it's not rice; it's cauliflower. It's crazy to me.
I'm actually really impressed. I've always been a little bit of like I want to try healthy recipes, and I've never made cauliflower taste good. So the fact that you did means you leapfrogged me, and I'm only a little mad. Just kidding, but kind of. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is I Chloe does all sorts of amazing things with vegetables, and yet I I'm having, I think, for me to really stick with, I think I'm gonna have to go into some sort of like a really strict regiment with food, in the sense that I like raw celery sticks.
Mm.
You know why? Because they come with chicken wings.
Mm.
And so it just, something about that just is pleasurable, even without the chicken wings. I'm just saying raw, celery sticks and carrot sticks, and even like the raw broccoli that would come on like a veggie tray. I can handle that, but I like all of those. But for some reason, when I start to venture too far outside the box, I get overwhelmed. Like when they're, yeah. And I think for me to eat vegetables on a regular basis, I'm saying on a regular basis, I have to go to those. I don't know. It's a weird mental thing. I don't know why that is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Getting those negative calories in.
Yeah. Do you remember hearing that? That like I remember having friends like, yeah, my roommate Ryan, he's got this plan to drop a bunch of weight by the time it's summer. So he's just gonna eat, he's figured it out. He's gonna eat nothing but celery
Yeah.
because he found out that it burns more calories to eat it than what you're getting. And it turns out like all of that is a myth. Like there's no
That's
such
tough.
thing as
It,
negative calories.
but that's kind of it is. This is exactly what we talked about with Emma last week because she was talking about how to like manage your diet as someone in recovery from an eating disorder, and we were talking about the way to think of it being like adding something to your diet rather than subtracting it.
Right.
Like if it's like I want to add vegetables, it will it might slowly cut back on your other stuff because you're more full, but you don't have to be like, and that means I have to give up this thing I really love.
Yeah.
Um, so
Totally.
more
Totally.
power
Yeah.
to your celery lane. I have to add a lot of stuff to it.
I know. Yeah. Cause Chloe is like, and I appreciate Chloe's effort, but there's just something I'm like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. So yeah, I might be boring guy, just like she's making all this awesome stuff, and I'm just huddled in the corner eating my celery sticks and peanut butter. Now that's something. That is something right there.
Okay,
Uh,
I'll try it, Lane. I'll try it.
You
try
haven't
it.
had celery sticks and peanut butter before?
No,
It's pretty
I
good.
always sound like a scam to me, but
It's pretty good. They had us make it in kindergarten. Ants on a log was the
Ants on a
recipe.
log. Yeah. Uh, Nathan, I wanted to ask you about, if you don't mind, the therapy
yeah,
journey. You said you started about a year ago. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
for sure. Yeah, I started a little. Like, I would probably say like 2 months, 2 or 3 months after the pandemic started, and I was going cold turkey from marijuana and tobacco and booze, and all of a sudden my anxiety and depression like was just like, hey, we've been here this entire time and you have not been acknowledging us because you've been high, um, or just smoking cigarettes to cope. And so Aaron was like, you should probably talk to somebody because you're like, I think when Angela Merkel, do you remember when Angela Merkel addressed everybody? Like, this was like real fresh when the pandemic happened. We weren't getting like any message from Donald Trump, but she came on and she was like kind of being like
The
this
leader.
leader to the world.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, and Katie knows every move Angela Merkel makes. I think Angela Merkel might be joining us right now. Angela,
Yeah, I'd love to continue to hear Nathan talk about how did I make you cry?
Oh man, yes, very much so. And I just remember going to Aaron and being like, "Can you hold me?" Uh,
Oh, yeah.
because that was just so scary. My anxiety was just like consuming. So I reached out to Javi, our friend who is a therapist, and got some good recs.
oh
Uh,
nice,
and started talking to this one guy, Robert, really nice. He's a great like starter therapist. Um, Eventually, I found somebody else that's even better. I love.
awesome,
Yeah.
I'm like
That's
yay.
so
a
good to hear
huge
too,
fan.
because I feel like that is a pitfall is like you do kind of have to keep searching, which sucks when you're depressed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But now you're seeing somebody you like even more.
I do. Yeah, I'm such a fan. Very like actionable. Like she gives really great like I don't know actionable items that I feel like my last therapist was very just like, yeah, no, it makes sense. I understand why you'd feel that way. And it's like, yeah, okay, but like feels good to tell someone this, but like can you help me like
feel different from how
yeah,
I'm feeling now. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Um and so I've been with her for the last like 4 or 5 months and um she's been like giving some really great actionable things, but I do think it's been hard to get out of the depression and anxiety to like take all of those actions, or to do them consecutively or
Yeah.
continuously, like it'll be like great for a week, but then I'll get out of that routine. Um and so she did suggest that I speak with a psychiatrist because it might, like, getting a little bit of medicine might help with that little bit of a push to help me um
Yeah.
start doing
Nice.
that
Yeah.
more often. But yeah, it's been really great.
Good.
Love talking.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. Um, I love to hear, yeah, when someone uh has a decent enough therapist to get them going, but they don't give up there.
Yeah.
I think that is a very difficult thing because some people, it can be so daunting that some people kind of feel like, oh, I guess therapy just isn't for me. But good for you for, yeah, finding someone and being open. Sounds like, yeah, it's a good fit in that you appreciate what they have to say and are open to their guidance. Is there anything you might be willing to share in terms of like what y'all have worked on or growth or progress you feel like you've made?
Yeah, for sure. I've got I've got one of my things right here next to me, at my
No way.
desk, that helps me whenever I'm like feeling like trauma responses or like triggers, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, that like some like negative, but not negative, but like some behaviors that I do that just make me spiral more into it, and what I could
Yeah.
do instead of those things that also help, but help in the long run. So like instead of us obsessively looking at the news and spiraling into my anxiety, I can watch some funny videos or do a breathing exercise, right?
Nice. Hell yeah.
Um, yeah, just like not eating comfort food all the time when I'm feeling bad, but like having like some go-to healthy snacks that I also like that I can uh, utilize, like apples and honey. So
Ooh,
yummy, so
What a
yummy.
treat.
what a
Um,
treat. Yeah.
just drinking like a glass of ice water to try and like shock my system, kind of get me, feeling myself a little bit again, get me out of my anxiety spiral is really
I
cool.
like that. Isn't that, I had an epiphany. You know what I think it was? It was living in Chicago without an air conditioner. I grew to suddenly realize how refreshing ice water truly is. The true refreshment that is ice water. That's good. That's a good thing to keep in mind. So yeah, maybe ice water. Yeah. I like that.
I mean, what was it? Barton Springs. I call it magic water because of that. Like ice cold water, when you jump in, it like shocks your system, and you feel
Dude,
like
yes.
you can feel yourself again. You can like really feel everything.
Hell yeah. Dude, would you believe in the last 2 years, I do this thing every time at the very end of my shower, I turn it all the way to cold, no hot at all, and I blast myself in the face and all over my body, and I let it run down my back, and I try and hold it as long as I can. And Chloe hears me in the other room going, "Whoo,
I was about
ah,
to say Sanjay does
ah."
that shit too, and I hear a whoo when it happens.
I love it. It is the
Okay,
fucking yes.
I'm gonna start
It,
doing that
Yeah.
I
now. That
can't.
sounds amazing.
Women are always like do that because apparently like you should open your pores to put the medicine in, but then you have to reclose them by putting cold water on. I've never done. I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. You know.
Dude, you know where it started? The first this is the first time I ever met Nikita. This
Mhm.
really has very little to do with Nikita, but it's that night always stands out because I got to meet our amazing friend of the show,
Yeah, if you
Nikita.
haven't listened to our first live show,
Yeah.
Nikita tells the best jokes about wanting to kill herself. It's
The,
so good. Go ahead.
so good. It's a mental health comedy podcast. Did we mention that? No. But it was that night. So I was doing a Friday night show at Fallout, and I was going to be playing with people I really didn't even know who I was going to be. I just said yes to filling in for a troupe that I didn't know who was in this troupe. So I was a little bit nervous, and it was at the end of a long week, and I was just feeling really drained, and I felt kind of like hot. Like my face felt kind of stressed and hot, and and coffee didn't sound good. I needed to wake up. And I suddenly remembered that thing of filling up a big bowl of ice water and dunking your face in it. And supposedly that like resets your central nervous system or erases your brain or makes your heart explode or something. It does something like good or something, wakes you up. And so I did that. I filled a bowl with ice water and dunked my face in there for 30 seconds. And it was awesome. It felt like drinking a giant cup. It felt like drinking like a quadruple shot of espresso. And I mean that in the best way possible. It was
Yeah, without the nausea.
yeah, it was so wonderful. So I bust out a little, if I really am desperate, I'll bust out an ice water thing on my face ever since. Love it.
Nice.
How did we get on this, Nathan? You're talking about ice water. That's what it was.
Yeah, super helpful.
Totally.
Shock your system.
Shock of the system.
Nathan, you have been creating quite a bit in the core times. You're on TikTok. Tell us about, okay, because you mentioned body positivity, TikTok. Let's
Mhm.
just talk about the app for a moment. How has it played a role in your life? You're making stuff, you're watching vids. The algorithm has targeted you with some mental health stuff, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, a lot of like relationshipy stuff is I get on there a lot. Um, attachment style and attachment theory for some reason I get so many TikToks about that. Also, and much to Aaron's chagrin, I get a lot of like ADHD and like on the spectrum like awareness TikToks, and I like constantly self-diagnose myself from it. I'm like, wow, I do have hyper fixations on things sometimes. Maybe I have ADHD because I will obsessively look at somebody's IMDb page for a long time.
They
Or
do on TikTok, if they do just straight up make up symptoms of ADHD that are there's one about focusing your eyes. I'm sure you saw it. I was like, this isn't true.
yeah.
But overall it sounds like it is positive.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't know. I think maybe I have a little bit of an unhealthy relationship in that I want like views
Yeah.
sometimes, and I don't get them as much as I think I should because I put a lot
Yeah.
of work and effort into these.
Well,
Um,
and you used to be, am I allowed to say, that used to be a little bit YouTube famous.
yeah,
And so you're used to those numbers and they're not
yeah.
necessarily happening.
I don't think
They're
I
not
know about
happening.
YouTube famous. What?
Oh, actually, that kind of goes into body stuff real heavy because yes, I was 15 years old and I was on the front page of YouTube a couple of times, and that was like,
What?
yeah, that was like 2005, so that was when YouTube first started, and so it was just this crazy monster that no one knew was going to,
Whoa.
yeah. And
Is
I
it
got
like, I mean, did you went viral back in the earliest days
yes,
of YouTube?
yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Can I ask what was it or what was the video?
Well, the first couple were like lip syncs to. There was one that lip synced to like an Avenue Q Broadway song, and
Awesome.
yeah. And then I started making like sketches and stuff, and I had like a nice little following. I had like over 1,000 subscribers, which at the time was a big deal.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
and I got to like a million views. Um,
Whoa.
but with that came a lot of hate,
Oh
like
fuck.
a lot of like online bullying and like you're a fat fuck and you're a fat piece of shit and you should go kill yourself and we don't need more fatties like that.
Jesus Christ.
And as a 15-year-old, you you don't, I don't know, I wasn't prepared to deal with that amount of vitriol.
Yeah.
um at the time it was like, oh, whatever, like haters are gonna hate. I'm popular right now, but like looking back on it, that stuff definitely affects you in some way.
Absolutely. Well, my God, we need to do a follow-up episode at some point and just on like
Yeah.
internet bullying and what it's like to be fucking like internet famous as a teenager. Holy shit. That's incredible, man. I did not know any of that. Wild. So yeah, that was huge. I mean, to get a million views is a big deal now, but to get it in 2005, I've got to think
That's
is
psycho in
incredible.
a good
Yeah.
way. Sorry.
Yeah. And then yeah, yes, to feel the wrath of the fucking internet trolls.
The wrath, and then also like there was like creepy men that were like older men that were sending me like you should do another one without your shirt on and stuff, and it's like the
Oh my
predators
god.
were there as well. Yeah, so this is a weird. You should get Jake too to talk about it. I bet
Yeah.
he has some great
We should have you
thoughts on
both
it as
on.
well.
Yeah, our friend Jake Garrison was also YouTube famous.
I didn't know that.
And had a psycho religious experience at the same time. It sounds like, I mean, it's always going to converge with whatever's going on in your life. To whatever you put on the internet is inspired by what's going on with your life, and then you amplify it.
Hmm.
Um, it's
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, what is that like? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, were like kids at school like, cheering you on, or were they bullying, or what like did
No,
what was their reaction?
they thought it was cool. Everyone wanted to be in the videos with me. Um, one of
Awesome.
them was in used it as a way to come out to the rest of the school. And that turned into a whole thing that the school
Wow.
got real mad about because we were like conservative Texas.
Oh
And
shit.
but
but
they came out
he
on your channel.
yeah,
That's fun. I
and we
mean, I know
all
it sounds like it got hard afterwards, but that was
it was really
Wow.
cool. We all put it on our MySpace page, and like it was like this act of
Oh
like fuck
yeah.
you to the man, and he is now on his way to becoming RuPaul's next drag superstar. So,
are they on?
uh,
Whoa.
He's on Drag Race.
yeah, Rose.
I
Hmm.
want to look it up.
Holy
Pretty cool.
shit, dude. Look at you touching lives and making miracles happen.
Hmm.
Look at that. That's amazing. Dude, what an
It,
incredible see, that's you speaking truth to power, damn it. That's
yeah,
you using comedy for the purposes of good and social progress and sticking it to the conservative school and shit.
hell yeah.
Very fun. Very fun.
Hmm.
But tell us more about this. What? Tell us more about what body positive TikTok looks like.
Oh yeah, it's just like a lot of um people dancing, like bigger men dancing. There's like this really like fun sound that's just about like loving yourself and who you are. That a lot of people have done like a dance to, and the one where it's like, "This is my name. This is how much I weigh. This is this," right? Um,
Sorry, I'm writing this
yeah,
down.
I
That's
don't know.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I'm not on TikTok, but that sounds like a real positive use of the internet. That sounds really cool. I didn't know that there was that much good stuff out there. That's awesome.
yeah.
Um,
There's a lot of cool content creators that share awareness on all like everything. It's like I'm on the spectrum. Let me shed some more light on this for you.
Wow.
I'm disabled in this way. Let me shed some more light on it. And like they get really popular and bring a lot of awareness to each specific thing. So it's pretty
Dang,
yeah.
so you're saying, yeah, but Are You Happy needs to get on TikTok, and Katie and I'll do little mental health dances?
yeah.
I went viral, Lane. I cut my bangs and I went viral, and that's all. Yeah. Just
It's true. I was jealous. I was like,
kidding.
Katie did it.
I'll never recreate it in my life. Um, I'm sorry that I brought that up. But I am famous. Yeah, no, I was gonna just, I guess, like, yeah, it does seem like there is a slight uptick in the idea of like male body positivity. I've read a lot this week because I also had to research some of this stuff for a work project about this guy named Kelvin Davis. He runs a men's fashion blog that's body positive called Notoriously Dapper. And it seems like that was like kind of the first in a series of men's fashion blogs that have popped up, that have apparently like inspired some Target brands and stuff like that to be using like men of all different sizes in a similar way to how women's stores have been using it in the past.
Well, if
Oh,
Target's
Um,
gonna sell to us, they need to have some sizes that actually can be worn
is that
because
true in men's clothes too? Like when you go to the just like Target clothes section, does that, because in women's sizes it ends like weirdly small for the American human being.
yeah, yeah, that's why I mean like if I'm gonna buy clothes on the cheap, right? Like I'm not going to Target, I'm going to Walmart
Yeah.
for
man.
real. Like Walmart has the next size up. Um, but I also don't want to give money to Walmart, so I'm gonna go to like Casual Male XL and spend fucking $60 on a t-shirt. So yeah.
Dude, that's yeah, I need to know where to go. Casual male XL, what?
I wouldn't go there. So the thing I'm looking at next is this thing called the Winston box that Mike DiCello turned me on to. Um, I'd look it up. You like answer a couple of questions about your style preferences, and then they send you a box every month or twice a month, however you want to do it. And it looks like really nicely made clothes that will fit you. And
Awesome. You know
yeah,
what cuz I am so it's so hard for me to find clothes that fit right being short, stocky, and also it's the broad shoulders as much as it's anything. You know, like because I think when you grow up chubby, your bones like just go spread out. Like you get like if I were to lose a bunch of weight, I would have a really odd body shape because I think my I'm just so wide set. And so I've found untuck it shirts, but it's not all untuck it shirt. I have to get it's a very specific type of shirt that they make. It's called like the wrinkle free performance shirt. And that's
okay.
like all my shirts. And I have to get it in the same size. And they only update the patterns like a couple times a year. So I have to cross my fingers that I like the patterns of like hopefully I'll like a couple of patterns when they introduce a new because I need to add some new shirts to the rotation here. Yeah, no, that's great. So yeah, I'm
I
looking at it. Winston box looks good.
I've never see because I don't man, I've never thought about that. That sorry, this is I don't need
You're
to
fine. No,
draw
no, what?
attention. But like yeah, I mean like Lane, for instance, that shirt you're wearing right now, so nice.
Oh, thank
But
you.
I would never have thought, oh, he had to look for that
Oh yeah.
specifically
It's a
for
big
probably
pain in the ass.
years.
Oh yeah. Yeah. These are the best shirts I've ever found that fit me specific. And that's why like for the last I would say 3 years, they're the only shirts I wear consistently because of that. Um
I will
I
probably
know
buy my brother some of these. They look nice.
I know that pain of like you have to really hunt, and then when you finally find it, you're like, well, I'm committed to this shirt for the next like until they stop selling them,
yeah,
and then they do, and you're like, great, now I have to like hunt again for another 3 years before I
fuck yeah.
find.
Dude, this is embarrassing. When American Apparel announced that they were going out of business, I love their 50/50 t-shirts. They're the 50 cotton, 50% like polyester. It's like so they call them their 50/50 shirts. I use them as undershirts because they're just by far the most comfortable undershirts that I've found. And I believe me, I went through a phase in the early aughts where I tried like every undershirt known to man. I guess maybe they're better now, but I can remember it was so daunting finding a good undershirt. And so when American Apparel announced they were going out of business, I bought so many of these. I still
Fuck
I
yeah.
have like a box in the shed that I try to draw from little by little because I'm dragging these out. But then fucking American Apparel came back. And I'm like,
Ooh,
the fuck are
You
y'all doing?
probably still got a deal though, right?
No, I don't think so. I
Oh.
really don't. I think I got fucked over on that
Well,
deal, but
inflation.
yeah. Well, now see, the problem is that they're not made in America anymore. They're made by probably they're taking advantage of people. The quality, it's not as good of a shirt anymore. Anyway,
I can see that though. Like women don't really wear undershirts, but you probably have to get it like both comfy and thin enough that it
mhm.
doesn't like puff out
But
your
thick
shirt.
enough that it sucks up some juices, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
well
Yeah.
put. Well put, sir.
I mean, Lane, we've both improvised on the same stage together. Like, we're sweaty guys, you know?
Absolutely, we are.
And it's very important to have an undershirt that can, do its job and soak that sweat up.
Let me ask you, Nathan, you are one of the nicest human beings and an incredibly supportive human being. I think anytime anyone gets to perform with you, it is a wonderful experience. You just couldn't ask for a better person to have with you when you go up on stage. Let me ask you, how did the world not, fuck you up? You know what I mean? Like, you're internet famous at 15. You were speaking truth to power with comedy. There were some bullies. You turned the humor around on them. How did you end up being such a nice guy after all of that?
Oh, well, I definitely got fucked up.
Okay, yeah.
uh, I don't know. I'm a big people pleaser that I'm working on those
Oh,
tendencies like
yeah,
hardcore.
yeah. Well, high
Don't want
five on that too.
yeah. Don't want I don't want people to leave me, like they always do. So,
It's
uh
tacky to call oneself an empath, so I am gonna give Nathan that. I think you're an empath. I think you know what people are feeling, and that you're good
thank
at
you.
it. Is that wrong of me to say? I don't know.
I think that's
I
good. Yeah.
you know, I thought I was super emotionally intelligent for the longest time, and getting into therapy uh, made me question that a considerable amount. But I do think I can pick up on people and how they're feeling, and
I
um,
trust you in a way I only trust women and gay men, and I mean that is the highest compliment.
Yeah.
thank you. I take that as a very
Yeah.
big compliment.
What Katie said. Yeah. That's what it is. It's yeah. No, that is a special kind of distinct. You're just a very, a trustworthy, good person. But yeah, no, I get the people pleasing thing. That's something that you're working on, Nathan.
Oh yeah, trying to be more of a dick, honestly, or not a dick, but like what I consider to be a dick, which is just sticking up for myself and
Yeah,
saying what my needs are, which is
boundary
just
setting.
being, yeah, uh, a human being.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I don't know, man. Like, I like to think that I had a really like I had a mom that raised me mostly as a single mother who I think did a really damn good job of like making sure that I am caring of other people and take them into consideration. And sorry, I'm getting a little emotional because you know
Sure, sure, yeah.
I
Let
think
it out.
you experienced this to some degree, Lane.
Sure, sure.
Sorry.
No, not at all, man. Let's give ourselves permission to feel what we're feeling, man.
It's just conservatism and toxic
Oh yeah.
Trumpism and all that stuff. Damn. uh, just it just sucks because yeah, you have someone that raised you that you think did a really good job of like making an empathetic and caring human being, and then to see that kind of
Uh, yeah.
lose or
Yeah.
dwindle from them can be
Absolutely.
sorry.
No, well, I appreciate you so much getting vulnerable. And know, Nathan, that we absolutely love you and love the person you are, and that's I get exactly what you mean. Like to be raised with a certain set of values. I think that's something that a lot of people have been experiencing the last few years, like being raised to believe in, like, yeah, helping people, and maybe seeing maybe Christianity as a part of that. Like, oh yeah, Christianity means helping people and helping those less fortunate. And then to see the last several years unfold and be like, wait, what's happening? Like, all of this seems turned upside down, or full of hate filled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't mind me asking, the relationship between you and your mom. I know I've said on the podcast mine has been pretty fucked up the last
Yeah.
year or so. My relationship with my mom, but may I ask, how about you?
Yeah, my mom and my grandparents has just been very, very strained, and
Yeah,
it's, something that you're constantly trying to work and repair and, you know, find common ground on, and just feels like a battle constantly with like sanity and
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, is what it is.
yeah. It's a bummer
Yeah.
too because I like y'all know I have a little brother that is still in that environment and is
Oh yeah.
growing up and still finding himself and who he is, and
Yeah.
just adds a whole other layer to it.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, how do you feel that, yeah, you came from that place and you are such an incredible, person that we all love and admire. I mean, really admire and respect. That's you, and yeah, how would you, I mean, forgive me if this sounds like a weird question, but maybe let's just say hypothetically there is someone listening to this podcast. Maybe they find it this weekend, or maybe they're listening to it 5 years in the future or something. Would you have any words of wisdom or advice on how to get through that kind of an environment?
Um, I'm still working on that
Still
personally.
working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But uh, I don't know. I'm trying real hard to come at my family and still try and see like the person that I love, that is still there, that is, uh, that's there in some way. Like we still have things that we can find common ground on, or that we can reminisce about together. I don't know. And
Yeah.
but I also still have to like keep having those conversations over and over again because I feel like I can eventually pull them, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe I won't, but like I can't not try
Right. Right.
constantly.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, no. Well, I've seen some of. I think if I'm not mistaken, I've seen some stuff. Maybe it's been a long time, but I feel like I've seen some stuff through like your Facebook posts, maybe family or somebody from back home. Sometimes uh,
Oh yeah.
talking, starting shit. I don't know. Being argumentative about certain socio-political topics. Reminds me of stuff I've been through in the last year.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that kind of stuff, I almost wish that, like with in the case with my mom, I wish it was more like confrontational. Like she just kind of shuts it down and is like,
Uh,
I don't want to have a fight. We just need to agree to disagree. You know, I just like there's this whole idea of like winning conversations or being on the winning team, and like it's so frustrating because it's like this isn't about which team is winning, this
yeah,
is about being on the right side of humanity. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
frustrating.
absolutely. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I love how much you care about your family and how you're not, writing them off or giving up on them.
And I mean, I'm sure you've seen this, but I think people in our Twitch chat right now are grateful to you for sharing and empathizing. And yeah, I mean, you're here a lot of the time in the chat. This is something that's been an ongoing theme of this podcast, and I think we're always trying to find something meaningful to say about. But yeah, like Trumpism itself has blindsided so many of us, um, in a way that makes it hard to like really work through because it feels so foreign, and it feels so foreign while being in the most personal places, um, that we can
I
find it.
Mm.
I think a lot of it too is like when I don't know, with my mom. or just with relatives that I don't talk about this stuff with, and I know that they just generally are Republican or conservative. When I don't talk to them and I see some of the things that are happening on that side, my and social media and the news can just like make my brain go to just the absolute worst, which is a whole other thing that is probably why it's good to get off of social media
Mm.
and constantly doom scrolling. Um, so I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of work that can be done on my end to not get so worked up about certain things, but yeah, it's a weird world we live
It's
in.
a, it's a weird world, and especially like uh when we have these kind of conflicting ideas of like who our mom is. It's
Yeah.
like there's the mom I grew up with who took me to like Ann Richards rallies,
Yeah.
Democrat, female governor of Texas back in the day. One of my earliest memories is going to like a Walter Mondale, Geraldine Ferreira. They lost to Reagan in '84, but they were the Democrat ticket, and they put up a female vice presidential candidate for the first time um, on that ticket, and that's one of my earliest memories of being taken to a rally. I can remember standing over a holy candle the night Michael Dukakis lost. My mom and I praying over a holy candle that Dukakis would somehow win, and then now like and then cut to now, like it is a weird thing to have to balance those things out in one's head. uh and yeah, so anyway, yeah, my heart goes out to you. And I saw some emotions hit you, especially when if I not mistaken, when you were reflecting on the mother you remember from childhood. And I hope you know that like no one can take that away, not even mom. No one can take away who she was and what she meant to you and how she helped shape you into the amazing person you are now. Anyway, we love you, Nathan.
Oh, I love
No,
you guys.
we have to wrap up soon. So can I say my brief piece?
Absolutely, yeah.
Following Nathan's life, I think is everybody roots for you. This is like sorry to people who like don't know him, and this has like become a We Love Nathan podcast, but I think there is something to learn about being a good. No, I'm just kidding. But like yeah, when I was getting on the call, my boyfriend Sanjay was just like, "Tell Nathan I miss him, and that I say hi." I didn't remember until just now, so I'm glad I finally remembered. But like you and I became friends at a point in our life that I would say was when we were both not at our least mentally healthy. I could be wrong. We
Yeah.
were both I dated Nathan's old roommate and was at his house all the time. All three of us were unemployed. That was when I was taking antidepressants without a mood stabilizer, so I was manic as hell. I feel like you were in a downbeat in your
Ooh,
life.
yeah, very much so.
And just to watch you like every year, it feels like you like meet this big milestone in terms of like it feels like when you got a full-time job that you didn't hate every second of, it was like a step up. And then when you like started dating, and then when you met Aaron and all this stuff, and just know people are rooting for you, and it's really fun to watch. And I don't know. I hope that therapy is like helping solidify some of those gains for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we all
Oh
love you.
yeah, we love it. And yeah, that's you bring up a great point, Katie. uh Nathan, always someone who is embracing that growth mindset, like always growing, learning, evolving. Uh and yeah, that's inspiring. I am yeah, I'm trying to do more of that.
Well, thank you for the pep talk, you guys. Appreciate
Good.
it.
Is there anything you want to plug or anything you want to say that you didn't get a chance to say?
Um, my TikTok is at Nate Sowell.
We'll share
Uh,
that.
um, no, I mean, I just want to thank y'all for having this space on a weekly basis. It's definitely helped me through some pretty low times. throughout the pandemic, especially. It's a nice community space where we can get together and commiserate and talk about things that are working and things that suck. And I am very thankful for y'all.
Fuck yeah. Well, we'll share your social media info as well as some of these like men's body positivity accounts that we talked about and stuff like that on our social media. It sounds like we'll have to have you. I think we should do an internet fam episode. That sounds really
Yeah,
fun.
wouldn't that be fun? Yeah.
But yeah, for people listening, we want to, as always, thank our tech, Preston Pentecost, who's here every week and posted, if you're listening to this on podcast form, this audio so that I would not have to, for which I will be eternally grateful. And listen to all the other shows on ColdTowne Radio. There's all sorts of them. I don't ever know whether to list them. There's so many now. Our
know,
recent
yeah.
guest Jen Rosario has a night with the stars.
Oh, yeah.
There's also the Victrola is the
Victrola,
longest running.
stool
I'm sure you can
pigeon.
look up old episodes of Victrola with Nathan if you want to listen to a little bit of sketch comedy. You've never been a guest on it? Never mind, I lied because I assumed everyone wants to book this baby. He seems so booked and blessed.
I'll be on an upcoming episode of Yes and Divorce.
Ooh!
Coming
Oh
out.
yeah.
So
Right.
check out
Yes,
Yes
and
and
divorce to hear both Jen and Nathan's partner Aaron. So that would be great.
Yeah, I think you might hear the Ingrams on there at some point, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh.
Yeah. But no, thank you so much for listening. I've been Lane Ingram.
I'm
Thank you,
Katie.
Nathan Sowell.
This is Nathan. Hey, goodbye. Have a good night,
Bye.
day.